Okay, we are back with our training series. We are training for engineering, and we will begin now.
As chief engineer, you support all other members of the bridge crew by keeping the Aegis operating in top condition. You monitor vital status information about the ship's systems, allocate power needed for maneuvering and combat, and manage the ship's power grid to compensate for damage or boost its capabilities. You also manage the ship's repair teams and keep an eye on how visible the Aegis is to other ships in the area.
Okay, we'll get started. System display.
Your system's display gives vital information about the status of the ship's various systems at all times. When your ship is suffering from negative effects, this panel provides information about the source and severity of the effect. As chief engineer, you have more detail about your ship's status than any other member of the crew. Activate your system's display now.
System display on. Right here. Beautiful hologram. Okay, power allocation.
How you allocate power determines how effective each of those systems is. As situations change, you'll need to communicate with the rest of the crew to keep them supplied with power.
Warp
and to
coils here.
when to make critical adjustments. One of your most essential responsibilities as chief engineer is to distribute available
Impulse
power
engines.
between each of the ship's major systems. Try giving maximum power to engines now.
Now I've been gabbing.
Now try giving maximum power to shields. You will have to reduce power to other systems first.
Okay, we got to move over, right? So I'll never remember all of this. No, there's no way. That's why I prefer the captain's seat, because I can automatically do it from the captain's seat. But we'll go on to warp.
Before the ship can travel between star systems, you must make the ship ready and charge its warp coils. This draws a tremendous amount of power, and you will be unable to make any further changes to power allocation or routing while prepping for warp. Begin preparing for warp now.
Okay. Impulse, we're on impulse, so we will switch to warp.
Charge the warp coils.
Charge the coils.
The helmsman will have a limited time to engage the warp drive, or the coils will automatically discharge to prevent damage to the ship.
Helmsman, take over.
Warp coils charged.
And you have 30 seconds before they discharge. It tells you right here. Very important. Okay, we'll go on to repair systems.
When the ship sustains damage, it's up to you to deploy repair crews and get critical systems back in working order. You have a limited number of crews available. You may send multiple crews to repair a single system faster, or you may spread them out to work on multiple systems at once. Activate your repair controls now. We have simulated damage to your phaser banks and scanners. Assign repair crews to both systems to get them back to full working condition.
Okay. To scanners and to the phaser banks. 97%, 98%, 99%, and 98 up here. 100% on the scanners.
Sensor array restored.
100% on the phaser banks.
Restored.
Awesome sauce. Okay, rerouting power.
It's possible to increase the power to one or more systems beyond normal safe operating limits by rerouting the ship's power grid. Switch to rerouting mode now.
Switching to rerouting.
Try diverting extra power to shields by dragging an adjacent power node over to it.
Engine power shields over here, so we'll drag over here.
You have increased maximum shield strength by drawing some power from other systems. This situation is risky, though. The extra power flowing through those conduits could cause internal damage. When you use the rerouting system, you must keep an eye on the power grid and be ready to make changes as needed.
So we can do this at incremental levels, correct? So you can do it like that, and we can disperse over here also. Interesting. Mr. Spock. Interesting. Okay, ship signature
Various
again.
systems of the ship affect how easily other vessels can detect the Aegis. The Aegis is designed to avoid detection at ranges where other Federation vessels would be easily visible to another ship's sensors. As Chief Engineer, you can monitor all systems which are affecting the ship's signature and gauge the range at which the Aegis will be detectable to other vessels. This information is vital when trying to avoid contact with hostile ships.
Warning. Exceeding ship tolerance.
Well, I better move on then. Hell, let's go to help. That's what I was getting ready to say, help overlay, which is the X. I got it that time. Crew members can share these systems, beam targets onto the Aegis.
Warning. Exceeding ship tolerance.
The Aegis can disrupt enemy subsystem. I'm going to have to do something here, so it'll be quiet.
Warning.
Maybe we're back to normal now. Maybe. Maybe not. I just don't know. Well, let's try to go ahead with the overlay. Beam targets onto the Aegis.
Warning.
The Aegis can
Exceeding
disrupt
ship tolerance.
enemy subsystems. Range: Aegis is visible to enemies. Shield emissions, torpedo emissions, engine emissions. Requirements for long-range travel. Required power. Configure for impulse or warp travel. Overcharged nodes eventually burn out, which I'm doing right now. Drag to reroute power. Change between distribution routing. Open the power grid. Open the repair system. Increased power improves performance. So, I'd like to figure that out before I move on. I don't know what I've done to cause that. Evidently it's moved on its own, maybe. Oh, okay, I turned the button off. Okay, we'll move on. I'm sorry. Help overlay. We just did that, so we were done with this section. So I will break live stream and start with the captain next. And hope the ship don't blow up, right?
Warning.